Welcome back to From the Bookshelf for another weekly download with what I've been reading this week, as well as one special look at a scary story that I heard this week. Before I get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications as to when I download these, as well as my other videos, which will be coming out shortly. And go check out my Instagram page where I go into a little more in depth about what I've been reading and all of the stuff that's going on over there. And you can find the link to that down below in the description. So let's get started. First book is one I've read. I don't have it here with me. I had to take it back to the library. It's Camp Jupitor by Riordan. It is kind of like a journal of one of the new recruits at Camp Jupitor, which is the Roman version of Camp Half-Blood in the Riordan universe. It's a great book. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's fun. It's an easy read. It's really super short. It's just kind of like 80 pages, that kind of thing. So go ahead and check that out, especially if you're a fan of the Percy Jackson series and everything else that he does. So the next book is the last book in the Jensen series by Robin Jones Gunn. This is volume 4. It's technically books 10, 11, and 12 in the series. I gave this one a 7 out of 10. It is a spin-off series of the Christy Miller series, which is one of my favorites. Absolutely love that series. She's a Christian fiction writer who writes mainly for teens and young adults, and it's a really good series. I enjoyed it as a whole, and anyone who enjoys Christian fiction or even just books that are fun for teenagers, preteens, or even just young adults, this is definitely a series to look into. I would recommend reading the Christy Miller books first, because while it's not absolutely necessary to read them, you do get a lot of the characters from that series into this one. So I have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which I listened to this week. This is the second time I've actually listened to the book itself, and it's like the 4th time I've read it. So I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, love the books. So the book itself I gave an 8 out of 10 because, you know, it's great. I'm sure most of you watching this have probably either read Harry Potter or know it, watched the movies, that kind of thing. So the narrator was Jim Dale. I gave him a 9 out of 10. He did a really good job with the narration, with changing up the characters' voices and giving everyone something unique. And it was a really good listen. He did a really good job with the production of the book itself. And I think if you like listening to books, then you should definitely give this one a listen. So then we have 2 more audiobooks. So the first one was this one, Will Wilder, The Lost Staff of Wonders. It's the second book in the Will Wilder series, which I listened to the first one a week or so ago. I don't have a physical copy of the third book, which I also listened to, which was The Amulet of Power. So far, these are the only 3 books in the series. The way that the third one ended, I imagine that there will be more, because it kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger. So the books themselves, I gave an 8 out of 10 because they're good books. They're well written. They're fun reads, fun listens as well. They're the ones that are Catholic fiction, where the author is a Catholic writer, and he writes about kind of like the Catholic Church and the relics, and then there's some supernatural mystery going on as well. The narrator, Raymond, Arroyo, also did the narration of the books for all 3 of them, and I gave him an 8 out of 10 on the narration as well, because he did a really good job. A lot of authors who do narrations don't do so well. I think I mentioned this previously, but he's actually really good at it. And then we have For Heaven's Eyes Only by Simon R. Green. This is part of his Secret Histories book series. It's, I think, about book 5 or 6 in the series. It's a really good series. He also did Something from the Night Side, which I think overall was better as a book series. They are interconnected a little, like they talk about the night side and stuff in this book. This one takes place in London itself, in the supernatural world, where the Druid family kind of like polices the supernatural world, and they're like almost all powerful, but things don't necessarily always go their way. It's a fun book. It's a fairly easy read for being a bit longer than some. I gave this one a 6 out of 10. It wasn't my favorite in this series. However, if you are reading the books from the beginning, you have to read this one. It's definitely one where you can't skip it, otherwise you get lost. But it wasn't necessarily my favorite, but it's still good and should read. And then we have the SEAL Team 6 series, Hunt the Leopard. This is by Donn, Mann, and Ralph Pezzulo. Can't pronounce that, sorry. But this book series is really good. I really love the military memoirs and things like that. And so this is a fiction series that follows a group of SEALs on SEAL Team 6 around the world on their missions and all of that. They're really good. The lead character, Tom MacDonald, leads the SEAL team, and lots of action, lots of suspense, lots of mystery, and the characters are well written, funny, and really entertaining. This is a definite read, I think, for really anyone who enjoys these kind of books. So I gave this an 8 out of 10, and it's one I think you should definitely give a look at. So then we have Dead as a Doornail by Charlaine Harris. This is the Suki Stackhouse book. This is book 5 in this series. The second time I've read it. I'm rereading the series. I haven't finished it. I've gotten about 8 or 9 books in, and I got sidetracked, so I started over at the beginning. And this one, it wasn't my favorite one in the series. I gave this one itself a 7 out of 10. I knocked it down just a little bit because some of the storylines I didn't particularly like, but it was really good overall. And I like that it brought in more of the shapeshifters, and that's what it focused on as opposed to vampires itself. And if you like this series or you like True Blood, then it's a definite read. And so the final book that I read, just finished it today as I was recording, was The Hidden Power of Effing Up by the Try Guys. So these are the Try Guys. You may have heard of them. They do videos on YouTube where they basically try things, as the name says. And they wrote this book, and it's kind of about them and you know, failing at things, but continuing to try and just trying no matter what the outcome is or what you want to do. Because I think the philosophy is kind of like, if you keep trying, you'll eventually, you know, get where you want to go, just like they did. They continued to do things and to try new things, and now they have a huge following on YouTube and outside of YouTube, and it's just an amazing story. It's hilarious. These guys are like super funny. And because they wrote it all together, they're like, one of them will be telling their story, and then the others will be like interjecting their thoughts and making jokes towards them. And it's a really funny read. And if you like them, then you should definitely read it. If you don't know who they are, I still think you should check it out. It's definitely inspirational and fun and definitely funny. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's a definite read for everybody. So that's it for the books I've read. However, there's one more I want to talk about because it's a story, a video on YouTube. Tom MacDonald, he's a rap artist. He usually does, you know, music videos and stuff, but this Halloween is like his favorite month. He just posted a scary story on his YouTube channel, like the scariest thing that's ever happened to him, and he's an amazing storyteller. I'm not surprised because his music, it tells stories on its own, because his music tells stories when you're listening to it. So the fact that, you know, he can sit down for like 25 minutes and tell a phenomenal story that's scary, but also funny and entertaining. And of course, his girlfriend Nova edited the video like she does for all his music videos, so it's really well put together. And I can honestly tell you that listening to it within the last like 30 seconds of the story, I got the chills. Like, I'm watching it and literally like breaking out in goosebumps listening to the story, like, what is happening? It is fantastic. I will post a link down below to this video so that you guys can also watch it, because it is fun. It's entertaining. It's the best story I listened to this week. If I had to rank it, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, possibly even a 10 out of 10 just for the performance of it. But yeah, so if the only thing you do after watching this video is going down to the description and clicking on Tom MacDonald's video for his ghost story, then I'll have accomplished what I set out to do. So thank you so much for being here. And if I've inspired you to read anything new that you haven't tried before, I'd love to hear about it. Go ahead and post it around and use the hashtag #FromTheBookshelf. All right, until next time.